Verse number 20. Karmino vinivartante nivartante upasakaah jnanino na nivartante iti Vedānta Ḍiṇḍima. So as we saw already, karminaha vinivartante. So karmina means those who are engaged in the actions, especially ritualistic portion of Veda, or those who are always looking at the end result as heaven going. So these people also, vinivartante, being karma finite in nature, produces result that is finite. And when it is finite, definitely it will come to an end. That's why we say, yat krutyam tat nashyamiti. Whatever is being created, whatever is done, that is subject to get destruction, go through destruction. So if a karmi, a performer, or an actor does any sort of action, the result has to be finite in nature. That's why the person comes back and takes birth. In short, that nullifying, managing all the karma phala will not happen in life. So the person has to come back to take birth. And again, what we call in English, back to square. So where we have started, again, okay, with some development, that's all, nothing else. It's like, very nice, somebody says, practice makes perfect. So practice makes perfect, or repetition makes life easier. So if practice makes perfect, every year the season also practices. So you think that every season is a perfect season? Look at the nature, okay? So this practices never makes perfect. Yes, mechanical way of living, repetition makes life mechanical, so that you feel you are not challenged. And the best example is doctors or lawyers, including you people, those who have experience, okay? Because of repetition, what you do? Okay, a lawyer in the beginning will practice a lot, will read a lot to appear in front of the court, in front of the judge. Later on, what happens? Senior lawyers, what? Senior lawyer, qualification of senior lawyer means who never reads, who never looks at the case. While working on the way, while putting the court, yes, what is that all about it? And in the presence of mind, argue something and get out. That is called senior lawyer, and for that you pay. However, coming back to the point, let us not get into. Here he says, karminaha vinivartante, nivartante upasakaha, including the upasakas also to come back. Whereas jnaninaha non-nivartante. So there is no punaravartanam iti. So there is no return, there is no rebirth for the jnanis. Iti Vedānta Ḍiṇḍima. While discussing this point, let us look at verse number 21. Paroksha satphalam karma jnanam pratyaksha satphalam jnanamevabhyasat tasmat iti Vedānta Ḍiṇḍima. Now in this verse is being highlighted the difference between karma and jnana. As we have already seen earlier, that karma is Purusha Tantra, Jnanam is Vastu Tantra. Now here it talks about not only the karma as such, the process of karma. When it talks about Vastu Tantra, means depends upon Jnanam, depends upon the object. Whereas Purusha Tantra means karma depends upon the person, the actor. So the nature of karma, but here is being highlighted the result of karma which pushes us to do the karma. And the nature, the result of also Jnanam, which will also to be understood for us, which is to be understood. How? He says, look, karma definitely brings phala. So when the karma brings the result, so what is the result? It is result happens to be in the form of twofold. So one is called paroksha. It's a very nice point to observe. Paroksha. So paroksha means that which is remote. That which is not immediate. That which comes later. And second thing it says, asat iti. So asat means that which is false, that which is finite in nature, that which is unreal. We have to be very careful with these words here. How? Let us look at. If we look at any karma, produces a result. But here it says result is always not immediate. Then how can it possible? You can challenge here. It's not possible. Because like to know, this clapping being an action, it produces result. And this result is immediate. But how can you say that the karma phala is not immediate? Is immediate? That which comes later. How is it possible? Hey, look, this is what the problem is. When I clap, clapping and sound, there is some gap. This is the minimum science. In fact, just now I was watching here, the Rafale goes faster after Rafale sound is heard. The Rafale has gone away a few kilometers, few miles. Later on we hear the sound. And of course, thunder and lightning. First comes lightning, after a few seconds you hear the sound of the thunder. Forget about that. Karma also need to be understood very carefully, karma phalam especially. Generally, any karma brings phalam has got two aspects. One we call as drushta phalam, and another one is called adrushta phalam. Literal translation, drushta means that is seen, adrushta means is that is not seen, unseen. But meaning is, the result that is being understood by us, that because of which karma this result has come, is called drushta phalam. Seeing a result, you understand why. It's like, stomach upset. So stomach upset is definitely a result. So why your stomach is upset? Last night I ate more. So I was tempted, I did not know what to do, so I ate up to my neck. So that means that you ate too much, and that becomes drushta phalam for you. What is that? Stomach upset becomes drushta phalam of the eating. Now, if you observe also same thing, that you don't feel like eating. And stomach also not good. You are trying to figure it out. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 7 days, you try to look back. Still you are not able to get head or tail out of it. So there we say, this result comes under adrushta phalam. The cause is not being understood, not seen. But you are going through, you are experiencing. And remember, every karma has got these two types of result. It's very interesting to observe. So in short, every karma gives not only that comfort and pain, but also gives pleasure and suffering. Because the pain and comfort is the direct result of karma called drushta phalam. Whenever you have pain in your body, whenever you go through difficulties, that is the direct result. Whereas when you have suffering or you have pleasure, because you are comfortable, that doesn't mean that you will be a happy person. Not necessarily. That's why all the people have got all comforts. As you have observed yourself, you can see what your grandparents could not imagine, everything that you have now. You have better comforts than your grandparents in all the way. But the way they were happy, the way they were enjoying pleasure, derived pleasure, are you able to do that? Definitely not. I'm sorry. If you are doing, that means great you are. So the pleasure and suffering is called adrushta phalam. But what happens to all of us is, because this is known to all of us, especially those who have studied little bit, there is drushta phalam, adrushta phalam. We always look at karma phalam is always direct. But in reality, it is not. Why? He says, look, interestingly, what is jnanam? He says, jnanam is something. Jnana phalam gives sat. Sat means infinite in nature. And also pratyaksha, immediate. So how is it immediate? Same example I can give. Now, look at, I am making a karma. So when I am clapping, now the sound to reach, it has got twofold. What we call immediate, according to common people thinking, but it takes its own time. And also why I am clapping? Is it out of devotion? Or out to draw your attention? Hey, 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 hey. You understand? Shouting. Or encouraging you. Because remember, these are three examples we can add. So behind this clapping, attitude is there. So when I shout at, hey, hey, means what? I am looking down. I am trying to point out. Whereas when I am clapping to appreciate you, congratulate you. So in that clap also, physically maybe the same sound. Behind that there is different attitude. Or out of devotion, I keep clapping. There is also another type of attitude. So the attitude behind the action takes care of adrushta phalam. So in short, pleasure and suffering comes based on the attitude behind the actions. Whereas pain and comfort comes based on the physical aspect of action. Can you see this point very carefully? Now, with this example, we can shift a little bit for jnanam. Now, I am showing this both the hands. I am going to make a clap. So when I am going to clap, I am talking to you. Now tell me, this knowledge to take place, how does it take? How long does it take? If your mind is available, unless, you are other way around. We say, a cretino or a cretina, that's the right word here, okay? Cretini, in short. So stupid is not right word, okay? So that's a cretino, cretini. Laughs 3 times on any occasion. So sometimes also you can think of whether you are cretino or cretina or not, okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you, okay? So if you start laughing on any given situation 3 times, definitely you are a cretino or cretina. There is no doubt in it. How? Now, for example, so I am talking something to you. So everybody starts laughing. So you discover everybody starts laughing. What do you do? So you join with everybody. This is called first time. Second time, then after that it becomes serious. Why everybody laughed? What happened? So you start thinking. That's called cretino thinking, okay? Then you ask the near person, hey, what was the situation? Why did you all laugh? Then that person will explain. Hey, there's a joke, that's why. Oh, you understand, appreciate that person took so much pain without your knowledge, so you laugh with the person. And interestingly, in your bathroom or in your leisure time, you recollect that, how stupid I was, that I didn't understand, okay? This is gently way. Sometimes you recollect without knowing that you are stupid. That is worse. You are different order of cretina, okay? Cretini, sorry. Stupidity. So then you recollect and you start laughing. So when you start laughing 3 times on any one occasion, somebody told me one long back, I was telling this joke. Somebody said, Swamiji, if somebody laughs more than 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, how you will categorize? I said, I have glue person. I have to search in the dictionary, okay? Please give me some more time. Coming back. So here, if the mind is available, I show the hand that I am going to clap. The knowledge has to be immediate. Can you see this point? Because jnanam is vastu tantra. Secondly, because jnanam does not produce anything. Karma produces. And whatever is produced in time, that will be destroyed in time. That's why it is asat in nature. It is a finite in nature. It is a false in nature. We'll see false later on. Better to use the word finite. Whereas jnanam does not produce anything. The job of the jnanam is to reveal. So when it reveals, as it does not produce, that means it just reveals as it is. And interestingly, always depend upon the vastu. So depends upon the what knowledge you are looking for. And interestingly here, jnanam contextually is called atma jnanam, brahma jnanam. So knowledge of Brahman or knowledge of one's own self. So here the Brahman or the self is infinite. So when the Brahman itself, the Atman itself is infinite, the knowledge of Atma, the knowledge of Brahma has to be infinite in nature. So that's why here he says, karma paroksha phalam dadati, and also asat phalam dadati. It gives the result, that which is mediate, that which is remote in sense comes later. There is some time delay. There are many factors are involved. And of course they are finite in nature. Whereas definitely that jnanam is pratyaksha, immediate, and talks about infinite, reveals infinite. That's why what you need to do. Jnanam eva, this is the beautiful point to look at. Because of that reason, what we need to do? Jnanam eva abhyaset iti. So may one, abhyasa means abhyaset, may one practice, literal translation. But I would put this way, may one cultivate to develop. So here abhyasa is a cultivation. So cultivating an attitude. Because it has got, practice is a very superficial word. So that's why, may one cultivate. So what one should do? Obviously, for what? Jnanam eva. So jnana means knowledge. And what knowledge here? Self-knowledge. So may one engage in one's own self. May one spend time to cultivate this self-knowledge. That too alone. Jnanam eva. Okay, that's good. Let us read the next verse. Brutha sramoyam vidusham bruthayam karminam shramah yadina brahma vijnanam iti Vedānta Ḍiṇḍima. He says, look, iti Vedānta Ḍiṇḍima as usual. He says, look, nothing is waste, as all of you know. Even if a broken timepiece shows 2 times correct times in a day, but because it shows correct time twice in a day, is it worth to keep? Unless some memory is associated to it. Generally, we do this. For example, let us say when somebody passes away and the person is using that clock, let us say. So the time passes away, later on we make the clock to stop there. And we keep as memory. Not to show the time, but to remind the incident. So this is a very good thing to do. Just memory sake. Just example sake I am giving it. But definitely it is not worth keeping a clock if it is stopped. Definitely not, unless there is some memory or incident is involved. Very clear. Same thing also, whatever we are doing, we also need to see the worth of it, whether it is worthy or not. This really need to be seen very carefully. And he says, look, that brutha sramoyam vidusham. So vidusha means the one who is a learned. So learned people, vidusha. Those who have shastra jnanam. Those who can talk profoundly scripture, they know in and out of it. not common people, not ordinary people. He says, Vidusham api, even if they are learned, even if they are learned, sometimes they are shramaha brutha iti. So sramaha means effort that they put. Why? What sort of effort they put? They put effort to gain the knowledge. Profoundly they can talk, quote. They can present themselves, they are learned people. They can behave like learned people. Because it's not a joke. To remember all the shastras and right time to quote is not a joke. In fact, whenever you want to recollect one particular verse, that never comes, okay? Other than that verse, everything comes. So that is what happens. So you have to search, where is that fellow gone? So that's why Medha Sakti, okay? That's why Vedha Suktam has to be chanted regularly. So that at least, it will come up. However, so that's why he says, Brutha Shramaya. It is a waste. Why it is waste? He says, let us say, then I will go back. Yadina Brahma Vijnanam iti. If the knowledge of Brahman is not gained, then what happens? Even if you are a learned person, you keep putting effort to learn all the scripture, mug all the scripture, do anything, everything. You are called as the best person in the world, enlightened person. This is called enlightenment, they say, okay? Because how many bulbs are on, okay? So that is called enlightenment there. Remember, you deep within know is a waste of your life. Same thing also, very nicely says, Brutha Karminam iti. Those who are engaged in rituals, those who are doing karma, also they realize, or they should realize at least, that all these efforts that putting in performing any ritual is a waste. Let me go through translation, then I'll come to the point. And not only that, says also, very nicely, Karminam, I am Sramaha Bruthait. Because the purpose is to understand oneself. That's why you can see very carefully. Look at any elderly people, especially dying people, towards end of their life. Of course, if they are matured, okay? If they are gross, don't waste your time. Little bit sensitive. Do you know what they will say? What did I achieve in my life? Yes, once upon a time when I was a roaring personality, when I was going, the lion was giving the way. Now, forget lion, even if the poor cat doesn't give the way. So I am taking care of the cat every time, but that fellow also never bothers about me. You understand? Just look at. That's why most of the elderly people die with frustration. And when you die with frustration, you will see your facial energy, expression will not be good. Try to look at a person. If you are satisfied with what you are doing, please, this is the most important point to note. One thing is satisfaction, other one is success. Success is something to exhibit to others, to attract and get into problem. Because I notice in my life, the more one becomes successful, being successful means what? Achieving in the eyes of others. The more you invite problem in your life. Because all your success is for others, not for you. But the satisfaction is for you. Can you see this point? So satisfaction must not be compromised for success. But we all go crazy to have success, sacrificing the satisfaction. That's why you can see your face. If you are not a satisfied person, yet definitely on your face the repulsion and reflection will be available, will be visible. That's why he says beautifully that if Brahma Jnanam is not achieved, remember all this karma and of course shrama, both effort and doing any sort of action, really is a waste. Why it is a waste? Please understand. Because karma, any action or any effort that we put, it should lead to know myself. That's why we say, I must learn to live for myself. Wow, Swamiji, thank you. In fact, I am doing that. So what is that me, myself? Means what? My likes and dislikes. You understand? See, in fact, when you try to live for yourself, you cannot say your likes and dislikes. A tree lives for itself. A tree never lives for anybody. And because a tree lives for itself, that's why the presence or the life of tree is meant for whole universe. Whereas I live for my likes and dislikes, but I say, hey, I am living for myself. That's why here he says beautifully, once you start knowing yourself, then what will happen? The next verse will try to highlight. The person will start developing called alam buddhi. So alam is the buddhi, the attitude. Here buddhi means not decision. Here is attitude. So attitude of enoughness. So anytime you can say enough. It is exactly like after having so much pasta, you say basta. You understand? This is a very good expression, okay? Having so much pasta, this much, okay? Up to your neck. So again, the word pasta comes. Forget about pasta coming. The moment pasta word. Shall I bring some more pasta, some more? Something? Basta. So this basta, how it comes spontaneously. Basta means enough, okay? So basta, how it comes spontaneously. So that is called alam buddhi. And how to develop alam buddhi will be discussed tomorrow. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.